record on this computer. There we go.
He turns suddenly toward a sound outside. He starts at the door as Mary Warren enters. As soon as he sees her, he goes directly to her and grabs her by the cloak, furious. How do you go to Salem when I forbid it? Do you mock me? I'll whip you if you dare leave this house again. Strangely, she doesn't resist him, but hangs limply by his grip.
I'm sick, Mr. Proctor. Pray, hurt me not.
Her strangeness throws him off, and her evident pallor and weakness, he frees her.
My insides are all shuddery. I'm in the proceedings all day, sir.
What are these proceedings here? When you proceed to keep this house, as you are paid £9 a year to do, and my wife not wholly well? As though to compensate, Mary Warren goes to Elizabeth with a small rag doll.
I made a gift for you today, Goody Proctor. I had to sit long hours in a chair and pass the time with sewing.
Why, thank you. It's a fair puppet.
Mary Warren with a trembling, decayed voice.
We must all love each other now, Goody Proctor.
Aye, indeed we must.
I'll get up early in the morning and clean the house. I must sleep now.
Mary, is it true? There be 14 women arrested.
No, sir. There be 39 now.
She suddenly breaks up and sobs and sits down exhausted.
Why, she's weeping. What ails you, child?
Goody Osborne will hang.
Hang? Hang, you say?
Aye.
The deputy governor will permit it.
He sentenced her. He must. But not Sarah Good, for Sarah Good confessed, you see.
Confessed? To what?
That she sometimes made a compact with Lucifer and wrote her name in his black book with her blood and bound herself to torment Christians till God's thrown down. And we all must worship hell forevermore.
But surely you know what a jabberer she is. Did you tell them that?
Mr. Proctor, in open court, she near to choked us all to death.
How choked you?
She sent her spirit out.
Oh, Mary. Mary, surely you...
She tried to kill me many times, Goody Proctor.
Why, I never heard you mention that before.
I never knew it before. I never knew anything before. When she come into the court, I say to myself, I must not accuse this woman, for she sleep in ditches, and so very old and poor. But then she sit there denying, and I feel a misty coldness climbing up my back, and the skin on my skull begin to creep, and I feel a clamp around my neck, and I cannot breathe air, and then I hear a voice, screaming voice, and it were my voice, and all at once I remembered everything she done to me.
Why, what did she do to you?
So many times, Mr. Proctor, she come to this very door begging bread and a cup of cider, and mark this, whenever I turned her away empty, she mumbled.
Mumbled? She may mumble if she's hungry.
But what does she mumble? You must remember, Goody Proctor, last month, a Monday, I think, she walked away, and I thought my guts would burst for 2 days after. Do you remember it?
Why, I do, I think, but...
And so I told that to Judge Hathorne, and he asks her so. Sarah Good, he says, what curse do you mumble that this girl might fall sick after turning you away? And she replies, mimicking an old crone. Why, your excellence, no curse at all. I only say my commandments. I hope I may say my commandments, she says.
And that's an upright answer.
Aye, but then Judge Hathorne said, recite for us your commandments. And of all the 10, she could not say a single one. She never knew no commandments, and they had her in a flat lie.
And so condemned her, Mary Warren, now a little strained, seeing his stubborn doubt.
Why, they must when she condemned herself.
But the proof, the proof.
I told you the proof. It's hard proof, hard as rock, the judges said.
You will not go to court again, Mary Warren.
I must tell you, sir, I will be gone every day now. I am amazed you do not see what weighty work we do.
What work you do? It's strange work for a Christian girl to hang old women.
But, Mr. Proctor, they will not hang them if they confess. Sarah Good will only sit in jail sometime. Recalling. And here's a wonder for you. Think on this. Goody Good is pregnant.
Pregnant? Are they mad? The woman's near to 60.
They had Dr. Griggs examine her, and she's full to the brim and smoking a pipe all these years and no husband either. But she's safe, thank God, for they'll not hurt the innocent child. But be that not a marvel? You must see it, sir. It's God's work we do. So I'll be gone every day for some time. I'm an official of the court, they say, and
She has been edging toward on stage. I'll official you. Mary Warren, I'm sorry, he strides to the mantle, takes down the whip hanging there. Mary Warren, terrified but coming erect, striving for her authority, says,
I'll not stand whipping anymore.
Mary, promise now you'll stay at home.
Mary Warren, backing from him but keeping her erect posture, striving for her way, says,
The devil's loose in Salem, Mr. Proctor. We must discover where he's hiding.
I'll whip the devil out of you. With whip raised, he reaches out for her and she streaks away and yells.
I saved her life today.
His whip comes down.
I am accused?
Somewhat mentioned, but I said I never see no sign you ever sent your spirit out to hurt no one. And seeing I do live so closely with you, they dismissed it.
Who accused me?
I am bound by law. I cannot tell it. I only hope you'll not be so sarcastical no more. 4 judges and the king's deputies sat to dinner with us but an hour ago. I would have you speak civilly to me from this out.
Go to bed.
I'll not be ordered to bed no more, Mr. Proctor. I am 18 and a woman, however single.
You wish to sit up, then sit up.
I wish to go to bed.
Good night, then.
Good night.
Dissatisfied, uncertain of herself, she goes out. Wide-eyed both, Proctor and Elizabeth stand staring.
Oh, the noose is up.
There'll be no noose.
He wants me dead. I knew all week it would come to this.
They dismissed it. You heard her say.
And what of tomorrow? She will cry me out until they take me.
Sit you down.
She wants me dead, John. You know it.
I say sit down. She sits trembling. He speaks quietly, trying to keep his wits now. We must be wise, Elizabeth.
Oh, indeed, indeed.
Fear nothing. I'll find Ezekiel Cheever. I'll tell him she said it. We're all sport.
John, with so many in the jail, more than Cheever's help is needed now, I think. Would you favor me with this? Go to Abigail.
What have I to say to Abigail?
John, grant me this. You have a faulty understanding of young girls. There is a promise made in any bed.
What promise?
Spoke or silent, a promise is surely made, and she may dote on it now. I am sure she does, and thinks to kill me and take my place.
Proctor's anger is rising. He cannot speak.
It is her dearest hope, John. I know it. There be 1,000 names. Why does she call mine? There be a certain danger in calling such a name. I am no goody-good that sleeps in ditches, nor Osborne, drunk and half-witted. She dare not call out such a farmer's wife, but there be monstrous profit in it. She thinks to take my place, John.
She cannot think it.
John, have you ever shown her somewhat of contempt? She cannot pass you in church, but you will blush.
I may blush for my sin.
I think she sees another meaning in that blush.
And what see you? What see you, Elizabeth?
I think you be somewhat ashamed, for I am there and she is so close.
Then will you know me, woman? Were I stone, I would have cracked for shame this 7 month.
Then go and tell her that she's a whore. Whatever promise she may sense, break it, John, break it.
Good then, I'll go.
Oh, how unwillingly.
I will curse her hotter than the oldest cinder in hell, but pray begrudge me not my anger.
Your anger. I only ask you.
Woman, am I so base? Do you truly think me base?
I never called you base.
Then how do you charge me with such a promise? The promise that a stallion gives a mare I gave that girl.
Then why do you anger with me when I bid you break it?
Because it speaks deceit, and I am honest, but I'll plead no more. I see now your spirit twists around the single heir of my life, and I will never tear it free.
You'll tear it free when you come to know that I will be your only wife or no wife at all. She has an arrow in you yet, John Proctor, and you know it well.
Quite suddenly, as though from the air, a figure appears in the doorway. They start slightly. It is Mr. Hale.